Pickett says he's ready to play. Swears on it. Practiced on a knee brace. Did and said absolutely everything you'd want if you wanted him to play. Good morning to you. Good Thursday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates, where you found this. The Steelers did practice yesterday. Kenny did practice yesterday, although the participation report listed him as being limited. He himself had this to say on that subject.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm confident with the plan that we have. By Sunday, I'll feel, a lot better and be good to go.
Okay, now, this is where I need you to be honest, really honest with yourself, because you can lie to me all you want. You can't lie to yourself. What was your first, like this, reflexive reaction upon hearing Kenny say that? Upon hearing, even if it was just third party, the news that Kenny had practiced and says he's going to play on Sunday. I know, right? Like, did you even have one? Like, I think the very first one for me was, okay, I mean, it's great that the kid is healthy. You don't want to see anybody mess up, their knees, their joints, whatever. He's got a long, ideally terrific career ahead of him, and you don't need for him to be hobbled around and rehabbing for months or whatever. Wonderful. Okay, let's get that one out of the way. Do you want him to play on Sunday? Do you want that? Do you want to take that risk that comes with that? Do you think that the Ravens will be gentle and back off because they know Kenny's hobbling around or operating with a knee brace all week? Heck, he might be operating with a knee brace on Sunday if he plays. Do you think that the risk will be minimized? Do you think that he'll all of a sudden have magically addressed the spinning thing, the rolling out of the pocket thing that he does even when he's got a pocket that's been established by the line? Do you think that's just going to go away? Or is he going to be a sitting duck? I don't like any of this, okay? I don't like having to wonder whether or not it would be better for the Steelers to not use Kenny, in part because it might heighten their chances of losing. And if they lose, they can make the change that they really need to make. And that's getting rid of the offensive coordinator for literally anybody else. I hate that it's come to that too, but it has. I believe, not that I'm sitting here rooting in one direction or the other, but I believe that the franchise will be healthier if the Steelers lose this game Sunday, because it raises the possibility, maybe to the point of, you got no choice but to fire this guy. But if Kenny doesn't play at all, Mitch Trubisky goes out there, the offense doesn't go anywhere, everybody can just blame Mitch. No one's going to put it, well, I shouldn't say that. There'll obviously still be all kinds of noise about Matt Canada, but you've now got another quarterback in there. He's coming in ice cold. And you do that heading into the bye week, which presents, I think, your last best chance to fire Canada, because the extra week of prep would really, really help Glenn Thomas and or Mike Sullivan or whoever it is that the Steelers would find to run the offense. All over the place. This stuff is all over the place. It's not just me and this segment, okay? Although this is actually all over the place. It's everybody everywhere who follows this team. I have not ever seen, heard, or read the kind of disillusionment that I'm sensing right now from this fan base, from you, from the guy who yesterday stopped in our shop downtown and just poked his head in. he wasn't there to shop or anything. He saw that I was in the back. I'd just gotten done recording the Ramon Foster live show. And he just yells out, I've never questioned my fandom to this team before this, but this is driving me nuts. I don't know who they are. Later, I went up to cover the Penguins game at PPG Paints Arena, preseason game. And one of the security people who I've seen there for many, many years said to me, I don't even know how to feel about this coming weekend. I don't know what I want out of this coming weekend. And they're playing the Ravens at home. That's what this has come to. I had someone else ask yesterday, this was in written form, why do you keep talking about Canada? Isn't there anything else to say? It's because it all comes back to that. It just does. No matter what it is that you bring up, my goodness, even the defense's struggles you can bring back to Canada because the offense can never stay on the bleeping field. So even though the defense has no excuses for Houston, he got cut up on the very first drive, they had no chance after that because they were going to be out there for 70, 75, 80 snaps, whatever. Because the offense can't stay out there. They go out for 3 plays and they punt. And the defensive guys are like, they're still sucking wind over there going, really? Really? And everything is about one thing. Not because of the narrative, not because of, some sort of clickbait sensation, go for the easy, low-hanging fruit headline and whatever. It's become everything. It's become why people are questioning whether or not the team is serious about winning. That's a conversation that only happens in this town regarding the Pirates. And I won't have it about football. At least I shouldn't have it. Nobody should. When we come back, J1Q. This segment of Daily Shot is brought to you by our good friends at Mike's Beer Bar. They're located on Federal Street, directly across from PNC Park. Mike has more than 500 beers on tap, including from more than 50 local breweries. Stop in and say hello. Tell Mike we sent you. Mike's Beer Bar. The law firm of Edgar Snyder and Associates has joined forces with Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett to make a difference in the community. They're supporting Connecting Champions, a local charity that asks pediatric cancer patients, what's your passion? And connects them to mentors who give these young patients an identity outside of their diagnosis. You can learn more about what Edgar Snyder and Associates and Kenny Pickett are doing in the community by visiting edgarsnyder.com/givingback. Again, that's edgarsnyder.com/givingback. And today's J1Q comes from Tomas, who is a long-time both reader and listener over in Slovakia. Tomas says, Hi, DK. I watched the press conference. I awaited what changes Mike Tomlin would implement. When he said padded practices, I was thinking, why none of the reporters are saying that this is a bunch of BS? That's not a change. So my question is, why no one shouts that the emperor is naked? And then Thomas adds, no clue what the exact saying is in English, but it's translated from Slovakian. No, your translation there was just fine. The emperor not wearing any clothes. I've covered 5 Olympics, Thomas, and in covering those, I've shared transportation, lodging, and press settings, whether it's the press table, as they call it at events, or the press interview areas, the rope lines downstairs. And I'm going to tell everybody here, even though you might already know this, sports writers in Slovakia, other parts of Eastern Europe, some countries in Africa, a lot of the Arab countries will openly cheer at Olympic events. The Eastern Europeans might be as bad as any of them. And I say that as someone of proud Serb heritage. I'm born in the United States, but have that as heritage. The Serb reporters are some of the absolute worst. Just embarrassing. But as we respect other cultures' differences from our own, and that's always a pretty healthy approach to take, I would think, we have to understand that not all journalism is the same everywhere, and that sports is seen in some places as just not really being all that serious, and nobody would attach the concept of journalism to sports writing. That's not how it is in the U.S. That's not close to how it is in the U.S. The journalism is no different between the news and the sports. It all functions on the same basic premises of objectivity, fairness, impartiality. Okay, that doesn't mean you don't take opinions. That happens in all walks of life, including news and editorials and commentary and so forth. But it's got to be founded on something that's fair. We are not, as reporters, fans. We are most definitely not cheering in press boxes or cheering anywhere. We're there to do a job. That's how you get trained. I happen to be passionate about my job. You'll read that, I hope. You'll hear that, I hope. But when you're in a press conference setting, the objective is to ask questions that contribute to the content that you're creating. In other words, if I'm writing an article or a column, which is an opinion piece, and I want answers from Mike Tomlin about why such and such thing happened at 4th and 1, I'm asking it because I don't have that information and because they don't make the offensive coordinator available until the following Thursday. I'm not asking it for the purpose of finger wagging him. That would be unprofessional. Those aren't the team's rules. Those aren't the league's rules. Those are the journalism rules. There's all kinds of stuff that floats out there about how the Steelers won't let you or they'll revoke your credential or kick you out. I've been around the Steelers for close to 30 years. I can't name one individual who's ever been kicked out or whatever in all that time. And you'd better believe there have been some questions that would be perceived as tough or challenging or whatever, even though there really isn't any such thing as that. That's really brave, I'll hear from time to time about a question that I'd ask of Tomlin. No, it's not. What do you think he's going to do if he doesn't like the question? Bark at me? Who cares? That only happens like all the time. It's irrelevant. I don't get my feelings hurt. He doesn't think about it for a split second after the thing is done. In fact, if anything, if he does something like that with me, it probably enhances the entertainment value of the column that I'm about to write, if you want to be honest about it. So I hope that answers your question, Thomas. I know you mean it well, and I know you're asking it from a different context than what somebody over here would ask it, but maybe it helps for everyone to hear that this is how it is in the United States of America, okay? This is how the journalism train rolls, and it's not different between news and sports. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody who listens to Daily Shot of Steelers worldwide. And we're going to do another one of these tomorrow.